So the other day, a tree made me cry. I was just bawling. I was I was crying, and I think it was an expression of that I was in my rich life, and I'm so grateful for that. I'm so glad that I get to have those experiences more and more, and I want other people to have them. And so it's important. It really is because if you're not experiencing your richest life, you're not having as enjoyable of a time here. And we only have just a little bit of time in this world. Why waste it not having an appreciation for all of the amazing parts of life all around us, the people, the places. It seems just silly to go through life and take it so seriously. So that is why I want to spread that rich life message. And in this video today, I'm going to be telling you about the three signs that you are experiencing your richest life. Because I want you to know. I want you to know when you are in that flow of your richest life. And and it's okay if you're not in that flow because at the end of the video, stay to the end because I'm going to share the best way I know how to get into that rich experience of life more of the time. My name is Rich Life, and I'm a chiropractor for the soul. So I help my clients have a single thought that when they have it, it aligns them with who they really are. And after that, they they don't need to focus on it. They don't need to have all these techniques and habits on enjoying their life. They can just live in this really great experience of life. And this space is the Rich Life Realization Podcast. It's where we explore the richest life possible because we have this life, this magical life all around us, and you might be missing out. I don't want you to miss out. I want you to be in that full experience of your life almost all of the time. I know it's not possible to do it all the time, but a little bit more, even just a little bit more. I'm going to share what I can share. So today we're going to be talking about those three signs that you're experiencing your richest life. And the first one that I'm going to start with is appreciation of nature. When I was driving the other day, I was driving down this road, and at the very end of the road, there's a traffic circle, and there's a tree, and it was fall. And just there were such vibrant colors. The tree was shaped where it had a lot of leaves in the middle that were incredibly beautiful. And it was a little bit less on the top. And I just felt this vibrant sense of appreciation for the natural beauty of our world. And I cried. I had tears rolling down my cheeks. I was in awe. It took my breath away for a few moments. And when you are experiencing your richest life, you're going to have those natural moments where you look up and you're like, "Oh my gosh. The The clouds in the sky are amazing right now. The sunset looks just beyond words. It looks so amazing. It looks so beautiful. It looks so gorgeous. And it takes you a moment. You're like, oh, wow. There's a natural wonder to this, to our world. And you know that you are in more of an alignment with your richest life when you can appreciate that. When you're in your head, you don't even see it. When you're in a low mood, you can't appreciate it. There might be a rainbow outside, and it doesn't even have to be something so impressive or unique as a rainbow. It can be just tiny little parts of our lives, tiny little bits of nature that we're like, oh my gosh, pop of color, the texture of a certain plant or flower. It's awesome. It's amazing. There's a certain sense of savoring those things. So that's number one. Number one is appreciation of nature. The second sign that you're in your richest life, you really appreciate other people. This morning, I was kind of in my own head. I was thinking about Cyber Monday deals and maybe buying a video game and just kind of in my own thoughts. And then I heard my wife upstairs. And it just blossomed in my heart, this appreciation for her, this wonderful feeling, because I had these wonderful clear thoughts about her. And when you are in your richest life, you are connected and you have such an appreciation for everyone, even if they're in their own challenges, even if they're in their own pain. You have an appreciation for them. That's one way that you can really tell, is that when you're seeing people clearly, a lot of the times we're seeing people through this distortion. We're seeing a warped version of them that is clouded by our own thoughts and judgments. But when we see those same people with understanding, with a lack of judgment, with that natural from a higher space in our own minds, a higher consciousness, then we see the beauty of who they are. And just like in the nature, you have this moment where it is breathtakingly amazing and beautiful. People are just so wonderful when you're in the right mind frame. Not every single moment, but we can live in that space more. We can appreciate the people, especially the people that we really care about. We can have warm feelings towards them more of the time and see them clearly and see them from that place of understanding and love and richness. And that's a sign that you are in your rich life, is that you appreciate the other people around you. Your heart goes out to them. You're filled with warm feelings because you have these clear, wonderful, warm thoughts. And I have to tell you, it's one of the best gifts I've ever had. I feel like I'm falling more deeply in love with my wife than when I first met her. And that's awesome. And I want more people to have that, because it's such a treasure. It is a gift. Those warm feelings are a gift that I can give her. So yeah, appreciation for the people that are in your life. And it's okay if you don't have it. Like, if you're like, oh, I can appreciate everyone but that person. Like, that's totally fine. You might not have a rich mindset about that person. And it's totally fine to be in your thoughts about it. But my invitation for you is to drop that and to see what comes naturally from that place of appreciation when you get out of your own way. We're going on to number 3 already. 3, 2 down, one more. So the next way that you can really know that you're in your own appreciation, your own rich life, is if you have like a natural confidence, like a love for yourself. You see yourself clearly. You don't let yourself get judgmental about yourself. You can look in the mirror and maybe it's not like a moment of, oh, I love myself, but it's just there's no layer of self-depreciation, of self-attack, of judgment, of harshness, of a bad feeling towards yourself. And that absence of that bad feeling, it is a natural confidence. It is an appreciation, because that's what's really underneath of who we are. Once we get under the surface level of those tangle of thoughts about ourselves, those kind of harsh and cruel and usually borrowed thoughts, that what's underneath is understanding and love for who we really are. There's a naturalness to it. It's not like, oh, I have to become confident and I need to build myself up and say positive affirmations about myself. You don't even think about that. You just are letting go of all of those negative thoughts, and you feel great. And it's a part of that is that we sometimes don't even notice that we're doing it to ourselves, or we've done it to ourselves for so long that it feels normal. That it feels, oh, I think I need to do that because it really feels bad. I feel really bad about myself. But when you can let go of that, you're going to see yourself clearly. You're going to see yourself with wonder, with, man, you just kind of drop everything that gets in the way. And you just live with this naturalness. It's so easy. Confidence is easy. It's just a lack of that judgmental thought. But we think it's really hard because we're so used to having that cycle of repetitive thoughts about ourselves. And you might, yeah, it doesn't go like, oh, haha, I have reached the pinnacle. I never judge myself. I love myself purely.
It's never like that, that you don't get to that place. I think that's the problem, that people are like, I need to get to that place. It's always going to be fluid. The way that you view yourself is going to go up and down just naturally. And I bet you there are times when you don't even think about it and you feel okay about yourself. And then there are times when you think about it and you have some of those old thoughts and you really get down on yourself. And the invitation is to see that it goes up and down. That it's okay to be in the down place and to see that that's warped thinking. It hurts. It doesn't feel good when I get into that. And it feels good when I see myself clearly. So that's the third one. At the end of this video, I promise to share with you the best way that I know how to have a rich life more of the time. And I'm going to do that right now. Now, I'm going to preface this because it's going to be like a little bit out of left field. You're used to getting those like 3 tips on how to have your richest life. Be more mindful. This is going to be a little different. It's an understanding rather than a technique or a tool. The secret, the best way I know how to have a rich experience of life more often is this. Understand the true nature of thought. And this is what I mean by that. So it's not the thoughts themselves. Don't try and figure out your thoughts, your individual thoughts of, oh, I want to have chocolate ice cream today, or I love myself, or I'm angry at this person. When you try to figure that out, it doesn't really go very well because you dive into this complexity and this ever-changing kaleidoscope. I think a lot of people, they think that they can put all of their thoughts and beliefs together like a puzzle. And oh, I'm just missing that one piece. And then once I've got the one piece, the whole puzzle will be completed. I'm going to have happiness and peace and joy and the rich life that Rich Life always talks about. But the funny thing is that when people try to do it that way, those little thoughts, those puzzle pieces, they change moment by moment. What used to fit just a second ago, it doesn't fit anymore because your level of understanding and clarity and mood is changing all of the time. And so when you're trying to figure out, it's like the puzzle is almost together and then all the pieces are scattered everywhere. So instead of trying to figure it out that way, realize the true nature of thought, that those puzzle pieces change. They're changeable. They're not solid like a real puzzle piece. They're just mental energy. And when you realize that, well, it changes the game. Because then you don't have to try and figure it out. You can just let the pieces change. You're not expecting them to do something else. And I think that's the trouble that all of us get into, is that we're trying to figure it all out. Realize and we're not okay with it continually changing. But when you realize that change is its nature, that is kind of like water. well, then you can have a little bit of freedom, mental freedom, because thoughts operate a lot more like water. They morph, they're liquid, they're energy of the mind. And just like Bruce Lee said that water takes the shape of whatever you put it into, it becomes the cup. That energy of thought becomes that thought in your head. And you can give it weight and more energy and freeze it. You can make it more solid in your own mind. And when you do that, it tends to be sticky. It tends to feel real. It tends to feel scary, and you can bump into it. It's kind of like now you have to avoid this minefield of icebergs in your own psyche. But when you let the thoughts do what they do, they warm up, they become liquid, they change, they morph, and even they evaporate. Just like when water warms up to a certain point, it evaporates, it dissipates. Thoughts do the exact same thing. When you're not trying to hold on to them, they dissolve. And there's power in knowing that. It means that you can just let the thoughts dissolve. You can let the thoughts take their own course. And what you can do is then you can go beyond the thoughts, the noise that's going on in your personal mind. And when you go beyond your thoughts, on the other side of that is a rich and beautiful life. That is why I'm telling you that understanding the true nature of thought is actually connected with having a richer experience of life in every single day. And I hope you realize this, because you're going to have a richer experience of life. And I think that's what you really want. You want it not only for yourself, but also for the people that are around you. And I think that's what you want, because that's what I truly want. But it has to start within you. You have to go beyond your personal mind first. And then you can create that impact from that place of higher level of understanding and consciousness. Then you have this natural power that's been within you all of the time. And if you see this, my invitation is for you to kind of just let it settle in your mind and let the thoughts dissolve, even about this, and see what comes that's new and fresh. And if you see something new and fresh, share this video with somebody else that you would like to have a rich life more of the time. This has been the Rich Life Experience in each moment. This has been the Rich Life Journey. And may you have the richest life possible today.